Happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome to another episode of China Update, where I provide you with the most up-to-date political, economic, and geostrategic analysis on the world's #2 economy. My name is Tony. Let's jump in. And first up, Chinese electric vehicle EV giant BYD has overtaken Tesla in annual revenue for the first time since 2018, marking a significant milestone in the fiercely competitive global EV market. Yesterday, Monday, the Shenzhen-based automaker reported record-breaking sales of 777 billion yuan, $107 billion in 2024, a 29% increase year over year and exceeding analysts' expectations of 766 billion yuan. In contrast, Tesla's revenue for the same period stood at $97.7 billion. Despite the impressive growth, BYD's stock dipped 2.3% in early Hong Kong trading on Tuesday. However, shares have surged approximately 48% this year, reaching a record high last week. The company also delivered a robust fourth quarter performance, generating 15 billion yuan in net income on 275 billion yuan in sales, representing a 73% year-on-year increase. BYD's ascent can be attributed to its diverse lineup of electric and hybrid vehicles, which cater to a broad consumer base. Unlike Tesla, which solely produces fully electric vehicles, BYD has leveraged strong demand for hybrids in China, the world's largest EV market. The company sold 4.27 million vehicles in 2024, nearly matching Ford Motor Co's total sales, and aims to push deliveries to 5 to 6 million units in 2025. Sales in the first 2 months of 2025 have already soared 93% year-on-year to 623,300 vehicles. Another factor behind BYD's success, of course, is strong state subsidies through China's extensive industrial policy. This is an area we explored in yesterday's video. While Tesla remains dominant in terms of market valuation, standing at roughly $800 billion compared to BYD's $157 billion, BYD is making rapid inroads into international markets. Although the company does not currently sell passenger cars in the United States due to high tariffs, it has expanded aggressively in Europe, Southeast Asia, and Australia. The company accounted for 16% of all Chinese car exports in early 2025 and has opened manufacturing plants in Thailand and Uzbekistan. BYD's ability to innovate has played a crucial role in its growth. The company recently introduced a groundbreaking battery charging system capable of delivering 500 kilometers of range in just 5 minutes. It has also integrated advanced driver assistance technology across its vehicle lineup at no extra cost. The technological edge, compared with competitive pricing and strong state subsidies, has enabled BYD to challenge Tesla's dominance in the premium EV segment. One of BYD's latest models, the L, being dubbed the Tesla Model 3 Killer, is positioned as a direct competitor to the Model 3, but at nearly half the price. The L, priced at $16,000, boasts a 545-kilometer driving range and self-driving capabilities. Analysts predict the BYD's affordable yet high-tech models will lure many Tesla customers, especially as Tesla struggles with declining sales in China. This week, founder and chairman Wang Chunfu emphasized that Chinese automakers are no longer followers in the EV space, but are now global leaders in innovation. The company plans to further enhance its competitiveness through continued investment in research and development, particularly as it seeks to strengthen its presence beyond China. Despite BYD's rapid ascent, challenges remain. Western governments are growing increasingly wary of Chinese dominance in battery technology, leading to steep tariffs on Chinese EV imports. Additionally, BYD faces scrutiny over labor practices, with its $1 billion development in Brazil temporarily halted over allegations of severe worker mistreatment. Nevertheless, with its aggressive pricing strategy, strong state backing, expanding global footprint, and continued technological advancements, BYD is poised to reshape the global EV landscape and pose an even greater challenge to Tesla in the years ahead. Next up, Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi's visit to Japan this week for the first China-Japan high-level economic dialogue in 6 years was marked by both high-level diplomatic engagements and renewed tensions. Wang met with Prime Minister Ishiba and attended the 11th China-Japan-South Korea trilateral foreign ministers meeting, aiming to strengthen regional cooperation. However, disputes over diplomatic statements and maritime tensions cast a shadow over the talks. The high-level economic dialogue sought to advance economic cooperation in alignment with agreements between General Secretary Xi Jinping and Prime Minister Ishiba. Wang emphasized the need for a stable and constructive China-Japan relationship, urging closer collaboration on economic strategies and trade policies. Yet Japan swiftly lodged a protest over China's official readout of Wang's meeting with Ishiba, which claimed that the Japanese leader expressed, quote, respect, end quote, for all of China's positions. Tokyo denied the remark and demanded its removal, with Chief Cabinet Secretary Yoshimasa Hayashi calling it, quote, not factual. End quote. During the meeting, Ishiba stressed the necessity of reducing concerns and issues between the two nations, including the situation in the East China Sea, early release of Japanese nationals detained in China, and lifting import restrictions on Japan's maritime and agricultural products. Japan's foreign ministry said in a statement yesterday. Further straining relations, Japan raised alarm over increasing activity by the China Coast Guard near the Senkaku Islands, Japanese-controlled territory claimed by China. Japanese Foreign Minister Iwaya warned of a clear escalation, with Chinese vessels intruding into Japan's territorial waters since Friday. Iwaya conveyed Tokyo's concerns directly to Wang, underscoring the long-standing territorial dispute. While Wang's visit aimed to reinforce economic ties, these diplomatic frictions highlight persistent challenges in China-Japan relations, with political trust remaining fragile despite economic interdependence. Next up, U.S. Senator Steve Daines, a Republican from the U.S. state of Montana, visited Beijing this week to attend the China Development Forum and meet with senior Chinese officials, including Premier Li Qiang. His trip was aimed at fostering dialogue between the two nations and laying the framework for a potential meeting between U.S. President Donald Trump and Chinese leader Xi Jinping. However, Daines acknowledged that the timing and location of such a meeting remains uncertain. During his meetings, Premier Li emphasized the importance of U.S.-China cooperation, stressing that both nations should pursue dialogue rather than confrontation and prioritize economic and trade collaboration. Of course, this comes at a time of deep political mistrust, as the trade war seems to be escalating, and the US and China move further into what is likely going to be a second Cold War. A key focus of Daines' discussions was the ongoing fentanyl crisis. He urged Chinese officials to take decisive actions in curbing the export of fentanyl precursors. Daines conveyed Trump's message that resolving this issue is a prerequisite for advancing trade negotiations between the two countries. As a long-time ally of Trump, Daines played an intermediate role in US-China trade relations during Trump's first term. His recent visit signals renewed efforts to restore high-level talks, with both sides expressing interest in a summit between Trump and Xi. While no date has been set, Daines' visit marks a step towards rekindling dialogue in a tense geopolitical climate. Now, in the United States, in a bold escalation of trade policy, yesterday, Monday, US President Donald Trump announced a 25% tariff on all imports from any country that purchases oil from Venezuela. This could mean that tariffs on China could reach a devastatingly high 45% plus. We discuss this story and its implications on today's episode of my new second channel, Market Update, which went up about an hour ago. I've linked this episode in the description and the comments below. Now, we have one more development to cover for today's episode. If you're getting some value from today's episode of China Update, it's always a big help if you can hit the like button. Liking, sharing, and subscribing is a tremendous help. Thank you so much. And finally for today, a toxic thallium leak in Hunan province's Leishui River has triggered an environmental emergency threatening the water supply of millions of residents in Changzhou and beyond. The contamination, which surfaced in reports from Chinese media, has prompted authorities to implement a level 4 emergency response, while concerned residents rush to secure safe drinking water. Thallium, a highly toxic heavy metal, poses severe health risks, including organ damage and cancer. The crisis unfolded after monitoring stations detected abnormal thallium levels at the Dohatan cross-city sector of the river on the 16th of March. The pollution has since spread downstream, affecting key water sources in the region. According to an internal notice issued by the Hunan Xiangheng Salt Chemical Co. Limited, authorities have advised against using Leishui River water for drinking or food preparations for at least 2 weeks. Meanwhile, the local government in Yongxing County acknowledged the severity of the contamination and warned of its potential impact on public health. The state-run Southern Metropolis Daily prominently covered the crisis, highlighting its rare acknowledgement in state-controlled media. Additionally, Chinese financial media outlet Caixin reported that extensive industrial emissions upstream are suspected to be the source of the contamination. This incident underscores ongoing environmental challenges in China, where industrial pollution continues to pose significant risks risks to water safety. Authorities have yet to clarify the full extent of the damage or announce concrete measures to contain the spread of the contamination. Okay, that is today's episode of China Update. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching. Have a good Tuesday, and I will see you all tomorrow.